Me conocen bien, pero no me tratan. Me conocen bien, pero no me tratan. Del amigo soy amigo, del falso.
Hey, it's Brian. Here in their own words are some of the thoughts of the participants of the blind cigar tasting, the El Titan de Bronze Redemption Robusto. I'll let them take it from here.
My name is John. I just smoked at this tasting. The cigar started out real nice. I used to punch instead of cutting it. Seemed flavorful at the beginning. Progressively began tarring up through to the very end. The wrapper started coming unraveled and undone at the end also. No, I wouldn't buy this cigar. Thank you.
I'm Lonnie. I was at the tasting tonight. It's a nice mild stick for the most part. It got kind of stronger towards the end and started falling apart towards the end. Not something I would usually smoke, but something I would possibly buy in the future if I wanted something mild. Thanks.
I didn't like this thing. Not just kidding. I liked it. It stayed smooth and mild all the way through. This unraveling just happened because I just put it down and accidentally let it go out. Won't happen again next time I have one. I was thoroughly impressed with it. Real mild, smooth all the way through. I would definitely smoke it again. I'm pretty happy with it. It's burned even, and I like it.
How you doing? I'm Ed Merritt. I'm the old Stogie. I'd like to tell you about the cigar I just tasted. The cigar started out very nice, medium bodied as it started out. Very good draw on the cigar throughout the cigar. Second third of the cigar tasted very spicy, a little bit of pepper. Still a very good smoke on the second third. On the last third of the cigar, it became a little bit harsh. But all in all, I would grade the cigar as a good cigar. Thank you, sir.
Hey guys, this is Marcian, Zion 698 from Cigar Outcast. Just got done with the blind tasting. I liked the first third of it. I thought it was a pretty nice Corojo type flavor going on there. And after the first third, it basically tanked. Kind of tasted kind of a dusty spiciness, like maybe a Cameroon. Construction was decent. Cigars, but not one I would be smoking again, even if it was given to me. Thank you. Hey guys, Marcin here again. I just found out that what I had in the blind tasting was the Redemption, and I'm shocked because the Lancero I do love, and that tastes nothing like this cigar. Point blank period.
Hey, it's Brian again. Just for fun, I thought it would be interesting while I was typing this up and compiling all the information to smoke one of the taster cigars, and I'm entering the final third of the taster smoke. And I'm finding that the additional time that these had to rest does seem to have... I smoked one with the guys, and I smoked one just now while I was writing all this up. And I found that the extra time does seem to have had a positive impact on the smoking experience. Of course, I'm not as objective right now because I know what the cigar is. You know, I prepared the thing, so I've got all the biases. But, you know, just for fun, I went through and I took a bunch of notes, and I'm just going to go through really briefly what my thoughts were. When I was looking over the cigar, I found it was generally firm, like a lot of the guys did. I didn't find it to be quite as dry looking. it wasn't overly oily either. It is a little bit of a rustic cigar, and it was a little lumpy. There was some veins. When I was smelling the wrapper, I got a little bit of compost and earth, and a little bit of kind of a dry, dusty chocolate at the foot. So when I tested the draw, I found that it actually drew a little on the savory, salty side, which I thought was interesting. And I didn't really get too much of a flavor out of it when I was drawing. It was just noticeably something a little on the salty side. Let's see. So I lit it up. Since there's a form on here to go through it, I lit it up with my torch lighter, and used I cut the cap doing the cranial screw method. I basically took my scissors and twisted around, popped the cap off. And I found just right off the bat that this cigar does have kind of a fuller mouth feel. It just kind of, especially in the beginning, it just seems like it lays a paves your palate, I guess, is what I'm thinking. And it started off flavor-wise with some of that saltiness. I noticed like a salty toasted nut, like an almond possibly, when I was smoking it. It stayed pretty nutty throughout the first third. That was what I was finding. The nuttiness seemed to change a little bit, kind of trending towards almost like a salty peanut. You know, but the saltiness seemed to kind of subside just a little bit. So I'm gonna try not to let this go out while I'm talking about it here. Now, so far so good. I have had an issue with keeping this lit, and I think that some other folks did too while they were smoking it. But let me get back to this. So the ash has been really solid. The burn line is been uneven, but it generally self corrects. The burn line itself is pretty thin for the most part, and I wrote down for the first third enjoyable, and I think a lot of people found the first third to generally be an enjoyable thing. So let's see here. Getting into the second third, it got a little more peppery and earthy, and for a while it was kind of hard to put my finger on what it was. It was just kind of a fuller, earthier smoke. But the interesting thing is it went out a number of times in the second third, which I was mentioning earlier, and every time I lit it, it seemed like the cigar got sweeter suddenly, sweeter and creamier, in fact. And generally speaking, throughout towards the end of the second third, it got sweeter, just in general. At points, getting almost like a cherry flavor to it. I did have, wrote it went out again, so it went out like 3 times, which is not, a good thing. Did have some wrapper issues. I'm noticing it's starting to peel away, and I noticed this early on. There were some cracks in the wrapper, and it just started. It didn't unravel, but it looks like it wants to unravel. It's getting a little loose there. Again, this is the final third here. So generally speaking, yeah, the final third I really didn't take notes on because I'm doing it right now. But right now it's not quite as sweet. I smoked one of these earlier, and I've smoked a number of the redemptions of different Vitolas. I smoked a Toro earlier, and there was a certain amount of kind of a nice, sweet, aromatic cedar that I got at this point in that cigar that towards the final third that I'm not getting in this one. But it so far has been pleasant, and having smoked it both there and here, I'm finding I'm enjoying this more now. And I knew what it was then too, so I wasn't surprised then. So I'm not sure what it is, if the stick I smoked there was kind of a bum stick, or if it's just the additional time resting, which I think I'm going to make sure I give it more time next time I do a blind tasting, if that helped it at all. So and the burn line's kind of, it's not pretty, but the ash has been nice and white, and it's been solid. In fact, when I've had to ash it to relight it a couple of times, it's like trying to break through a brick wall to knock it off. So the ash is very solid on this. So in general, I found the burn wood to be pretty good in both cigars. I find the flavor to be better in this one, and it wasn't quite as good in the other one. And I think the other one did smoke a little on the dry side. Like, I think it needed a little more humidity than it had. Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up. I'm not going to wax on too long in this. I think I've already gone on a good bit of time, but I gotta say the results were very interesting to this. It was very entertaining, as I'm sure you're finding out reading this and seeing what some of the other guys had to say. So, well, long ashes. Damn it, it went out again.